dad's birthday to this one restaurant, and then she was like really sick. Like we
Damn.
thought she was getting over it, but it was getting worse. So we had to sit that one out, and we stayed home.
Damn. That
And
sucks.
then my sleep is just like between like recovering sleep debt and stuff, and my sleep schedule's just being super fucked. I've just been pushing it like it was already broken and it's hard for me to get to sleep on time, so I've just been staying up as late as I fucking can until it fixes itself again. Like I was awake until about like noon. Like I didn't sleep all night. And then I was like, I got lecture, so I had my girl wake me up right for lecture. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna go back to sleep and hopefully get up at a fucking reasonable hour.
Yeah. Yeah, man. Well, I'm looking at your screen. I've started screen share.
Alright, cool.
I'm ready.
Yeah, so let me pull up your feedback. It was something like you didn't like how I was using interfaces. You didn't how I had my method implementations in. Hold on, I haven't seen this in a few days. Okay, so I got my account service. No, account is what I want. So this is representative of an account, and you didn't like that I had the implementations here, and I think you said the implementation should be in the interface itself, which should be my transaction manager. I think. Hold on. Yeah, deposit and withdraw. I think I started switching it over already.
Yeah, looks like it's there already, huh?
So these should just be stubs. Yeah, I
No, they
kind
shouldn't
of
be stubs.
stopped
They
because
shouldn't.
I
They
wasn't
shouldn't be
sure.
existent.
I'm trying to wrap my head around that. Give me a second. I mean, what's the account manager? I don't know. I guess I'm not understanding interfaces. And let me pull up something too because this is one of those things where like I'll be asking chat for like feedback and direction on stuff,
Well, one major issue
and
you're having right now is that you have yet to ask a question. I told you to do one thing and you began spiraling. You still haven't asked me anything.
yeah. Well, I have a question. I'm trying to find what it was. So give me 1 second because I'm like digging through real quick. While I'm looking for that, I do have a question. Like, if I'm not, I mean, I'm implementing the interface, but like if my implementations are in there and I'm not even putting stubs in the account class, like, how the fuck is any of that getting used?
Look at the class signature.
Let me see on here.
Account
Okay, yeah,
is a
it
base
takes an
account.
account
That's
name.
that's the that's the constructor. The signature is on line
Oh,
6.
oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Yep. Okay.
Account is a account base.
Oh, right, right. Okay. Yep. That's my parent. Okay.
Scroll down.
Yeah, this is or wait, no wait. That's for setting balance, that's for password.
Yep.
Fuck. Give me a second.
Make sure you stay keen on asking questions because you're making progress here.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember. Like I said, it's been a few days since I touched this, and I had like some. Okay, so account is decoupled from the transaction manager. I was trying to use transaction manager as like a utility to implement the account behaviors. Um, and I think the idea was using like account base um, just to manage state and construction.
I agree. Yeah. You said the ideal.
The idea like that.
Oh
That's I
yeah.
think that's what I was going with.
Mhm.
I'm still trying to find where the fuck did it say like advantages is design interface. Okay, chat was saying like traditionally interfaces define the contract method signatures, while concrete and abstract classes provide method implementations. Abstract classes often contain shared behavior.
Do you
And
feel
it
like
was
I'm
saying
quizzing you?
no,
Because I'm
but
just trying to figure out why you're not just asking the question that you have. Like, confusion should
yeah,
begin with the
I think I'm
question.
almost to where I think I'm almost to the question I had before. I'm just like I
Okay.
said, I'm digging through this thing. It's unclear about what they meant. Back. Okay, this is where I started getting thrown off. So I was doing my thing, and chat was like, in Java, interfaces do not implement methods. They define method signatures.
Okay, ignore chat. What's your question? I really don't care.
Yeah,
I'm just trying to figure
so
out what your
like,
question is.
yeah, I guess my question is why? Like you're saying ignore chat, but like chat is
Why what?
saying like traditionally in Java, like interfaces do not implement the methods, and you're claiming that yeah they do and they should, correct?
Yes.
Okay, why?
Why
How?
what?
Why do they implement the methods and why should they?
Well, firstly, you didn't even fix your code, so it's difficult to even illustrate.
Yeah, I
You should have
stopped because I
questions.
was digging through trying to find the
Yeah, but you should have questions about your code because I just I made one request of you. I said this is the thing that needs to happen, right?
mhm.
That's the thing that you're currently trying to do, right? Right?
When you say thing, we're talking about switching the implementation into the interfaces and removing it from the concrete and the abstract classes,
I
correct?
agree. I agree. That's the
Okay.
thing that we're trying to do, right?
Okay. All right. So we cleared
Okay.
it out of account. The
Okay.
other one,
So
this is a child of account or account base, so that means we have to get rid of these here. Uh, yep. And then this is my constructor. Yeah, I think that's fine. Then I have account service, and I guess it's going to be the same situation here.
I got to do this because I got to see what your thinking is.
Yeah. Okay. So
No, 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 no,
account.
no, no, no. You're good. Like I'm just watching you. I'm just watching you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yep. You don't
Okay.
even have to say
I'm just
anything, literally.
explaining. So I
Okay.
wrote it. Yeah. I just want to make sure you know that like I separated account creation and deletion from the account itself because they're like this is a system thing. Like I don't need a parent like an abstract parent because there's not going to be like different instances. Like this is a system-wide thing, creating and deleting accounts. Um,
Hold on real quick. I want to just intervene real quick. I want to just because I want to
yeah,
rewind and go back to a question you had originally. Share screen about what chat's saying because I want this is something major. I might need to clip this because I hope that if I go down in history for anything, it's for this right here. What is chat saying about interfaces? It says that
see,
interfaces do not implement methods; they define method signatures. Okay,
yeah.
so and Muhammad, do you remember? Welcome, by the way. Welcome both of you guys.
Um,
Um, but do you remember what I said? How to do Java successfully? The only thing that you need to do about how to do Java successfully.
yeah. The interfaces implement methods.
I remember you saying that implements couple behaviors to objects.
From what I remember, is that interfaces, um, they have the body. They contain basically the method body,
Mm-hmm.
whereas abstract classes contain state.
Correct.
Right?
Yes.
Yeah, that's what I remember.
Correct. Correct. And like I said before I ask that question, if I go down in history for anything, I hope this is what I go down in history for. Okay? Uh, all method implementation should be in the interface. All state values in construction should be in the abstract class. All concrete classes, well, ideally, concrete classes should parameterize abstractions with actual values and potentially override the implementation that it was provided in an interface. Though this right here, this is what when I go like toe to toe with any developer, they got fucking 20 years on me or whatever. This right here is how I always defeat them in any and every circumstance. So, quick tangent. I just recently had a developer come to me and he saw this pattern take place. And it's a developer who I get a vibe that he kind of undermines me when he speaks to me. He's not on my direct team, he's on a sister team. But I knew already, I didn't even have to. The thing about once you have these rules in place, you don't have to do thinking anymore. You just have to memorize these small, tiny tidbits of information. And then you can ignore what everybody is saying about everything as long as you just remember that tiny bit of information. So this guy's going on this rant and he's talking at me for like 6 minutes and I finish with, well, do you have a question right now? And he says, well, in Java 8, method implementation, and I said, all method implementation should be in an interface. The purpose of an abstract class is to couple to state, value, and construction. And the purpose of a concrete class in the most ideal world is to parameterize our abstractions with actual values. And you can see that's exactly what's taking place here. He shut the fuck up after ranting ranting for 6 minutes. I said those 3 sentences and he shut the fuck up. I'm not kidding. Like this guy was literally just ranting at me. He tries to undermine me, I can tell. I only have to memorize those 3 sentences. It's a done deal for anybody that tries to challenge me. Every single time, this is always going to win. Method implementation should be in an interface. Why? Because we don't want to couple method implementation to a concrete class. We want to avoid that coupling of the method implementation at all costs. We want to defer that as far as possible. Fuck coupling it at all. Fuck coupling it at all. And the only way you can achieve that is by putting it into an interface. Because once it's in an interface, how many different interfaces can a class implement? That's a pop quiz question. How many different, that's an interview question. How
As
many
many as it
different,
wants.
exactly, as many as it wants. So are we coupled or are we bound to this method implementation as a concrete class? Or can we easily sever ourselves from it?
Yeah, you can drop it or pick it up.
Exactly. We can drop it, pick it up. And what if something else needs that method implementation in a different class? Do we now need to instantiate an object and then invoke the object that has that method implementation? Or could we just implement the interface?
Yeah, just implement it.
You could, but the answer is actually both. You now have the option to do both. Having that interface in place gives you the option to do both.
Oh,
It
right,
gives
because
you that
if a parent class implements it,
exactly.
then you can just extend it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it gives you that flexibility and it gives you those decisions. But if you decide that you're going to put your implementation at an abstract class, well, how many abstract classes can we extend?
One.
Exactly. You just fucked yourself immediately. Immediately. You're fucked. Now you're coupled to the abstract.
Leon, I have a question.
Yes.
So I understand that abstract classes, they store state and interfaces, basically have the method implementation. However, when should an abstract class implement an interface? Like, how does that relationship work between the abstract class and the interface?
That's a good question. What I actually wanted to show to answer that question, I think, as easy as possible is... Do I have an interface in here? Hopefully I do. I should. No interfaces, huh? Wow. This was an interesting project. It's an old project. Let me go back to Dean's screen. Dean, could you go back to what you were looking at?
Yeah, so you want me to bring up like an abstract or?
I want us to look at, we have account base, we have account, and we have the transaction manager. To me, Mohammed, you don't really want to like, so I'm going to go back to citing. If you're still looking at my screen, you'll see this last bit right here. Application of dry and SRP last is enforcement of AHA principle. So truthfully, just get it done how you need to get it done. Typically that's done at a concrete level. But then once you're done with that, once you're done experimenting with that, you test, okay, I have a concrete implementation of this. Just realize that the safest thing to do at that point is probably to put it into an interface. Then take all the state values and couple it into an abstract class, and then take a concrete class to parameterize your abstractions. I'm trying to think of a good example. Hold on, I'm trying to think of a good example. First, before I give you an example, I'll tell you why. Line 2, I mean, I just told you guys why, but I'll tell you more of why, because I could talk about this all day. Like I said, if I go down to history for anything, I hope this is what it is. Line 2, this is really, actually, line 6. This is all about line 6, single responsibility principle. You put your method implementation here, you put your state values and construction here, and then you parameterize your stuff there. If you deviate from this, then you end up getting something that's way too conflated or too tightly coupled. The big thing though to me is line 2. If you want to avoid line 3 and you want to ignore that, that's fine. Like, that's not a big deal. The big deal really is line 2, because what happens is if I come into a legacy system, there are things that I can't move around that I wish I could move around, but I can't because nobody put it in an interface. They decided to do it against a concrete class, and everything is programmed against a concrete class. So now I can't slide in my implementation. I have to go and modify somebody else's actual concrete class, which is extremely volatile. And then the code just gets bigger and bigger and bigger because we're all modifying inside of this concrete implementation, and the culture is to just make concrete modifications anyway. So nobody's adding interfaces to do any abstractions along the way because they all think, like Dean said, ChatGPT told me that I shouldn't have method implementation in the interface. Or this guy that goes on this 6-minute rant, hey, Leon, what are you talking about? No, method implementation is supposed to go on the interface. That way we don't have to worry about, hey, later on, if I come up with my implementation, am I allowed to do that? Sure, go ahead. Create your own implementation of the interface and then put it in place for wherever we were using that interface. That's the way that it should be done. I think rant's over. I think that
Yeah,
answered
this
it.
is like
Maybe.
the information that I wish was in the curriculum,
Yeah,
because
that's why
this
I'm
is like
recording it.
core
That's why I
stuff, and
said
I dug through.
I hope
Yeah,
I hope that I'm going to definitely cut this. I'm going to clip this. We began lecture at 5:47, so I don't think it's that much information to really look through. But I'm going to clip this cuz this is important.
yeah. That's like what I was looking for.
And the other thing is the AHA principle. This is if you apply dry and SRP last, which is do not repeat yourself, and the single responsibility principle. If you apply those things last, then that's an enforcement of the AHA principle, which is the avoid hasty abstractions principle. Sometimes people will try to abstract things as they're going along, and they're creating abstractions that aren't appropriate, but they make things easier on the system. So it's just important that you apply that dry in your SRP last. That way you're not abstracting as you go. You can see what the system needs after you're finished with writing it in its entirety. Look, this even was tagged at you. And is this pinned though? How do you pin?
Right click and yeah,
Oh, no, it is pinned. Okay.
yeah. I was flipping through Core Java too. Is this mentioned in Core Java or no?
No. That's why I said if I go down in history for anything, I
Mhm.
hope that it's this because this is not written anywhere. Nobody ever
Yeah.
talks about this. These engineers that literally, I'm not kidding, they have like 15, 20 years on me. They come to me, they try to debate me, they try to argue with me about shit. I just sit there quiet. Like literally, I don't even have to think about anything. I don't even have to listen to what they're saying. Literally. They're sitting there thinking that they're making points. I don't even have to listen. I'm just thinking about what I'm about to eat for lunch. And then once they get quiet, I'm like, okay, now I can say the 3 sentences that actually matter here. And then they shut the fuck up. And it's not even like, oh, this is just an instance because this is something that you're talking about that happened recently, Leon. No, like this is something that's been pretty regular. It's pretty regular for a long time. I'm not even going to get into it. You guys know who I am.
Leon, you should make a video on like implement on like a mini project and implementing these very important principles.
Yeah, I should. I gotta figure out. I gotta figure out. I gotta figure out a direction and aim. It's easier when I have questions at this point. Like the the phase that I'm in right now, it's difficult for me to start making content about this material because I'm past this part of like, you know what I mean? Like I can do this if I'm being prompted. Right now, you guys are prompting me. You guys are asking me questions. It's extremely difficult to do this if I don't have questions because I'm like, all I have to do is say the 3 things. To me, it's like all I have to do is say the 3 things. Listen to what I'm saying. Take it extremely literally. Don't take it as a metaphor, as like a maybe sometimes kind of type of situation. Take it as this is what it has to be from this point forth. And then I don't really know what else to say. You know, it's like, but when there's actual conversation, things flow a lot differently. But I'm gonna try
Yeah,
to
I
figure
remember.
out. I'm gonna try
I
to
remember
figure out a way.
last time you did that. I forgot which project it was. I think it was the some game.
Yeah, and you know what happened with that? I thought that Twitch was archiving videos for 2 weeks. Maybe they were at some point, but now it says that they only archive it for 7 days. And I made sure that I checked on it on like the ninth or 10th day, and when I came to Twitch, it was gone. And I was like, "What the fuck? I killed that
Yeah,
lecture." But
that video was great. That was so helpful. I
yeah,
remember I watched it and I did it. I was like, wow, this is so powerful.
dang.
Taking a project and then converting it, taking
Yeah.
all the methods, putting it into interface, taking all the class, I mean, the state, putting it into abstract,
Yep.
implementing it in the actual project. I was
Yes.
like, oh, this is gold.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Because it's easy to just read this, but it's completely different when you actually implement it.
Yes, yes, that's the thing, because you can read this and like you can take it as fact. There's no debating it, but
Yeah,
it's like once you actually iterate on it like a couple of times and you see, you're like, oh shit,
yeah.
this
You
is
see how much.
uh this is allowing me to really dissect the problem a lot more easily.
Yeah, and then how much more dry your project becomes, and the single responsibility, and the how much cleaner your code becomes just by
Yeah,
implementing those basic rules.
yeah, and for me, I think of these rules as being I'm trying to bring it down to like normal terms, bro. Like it's difficult for me because at this point, like I really can see code. It's so visceral for me. It's so like physical. Um, but like I say that because these patterns they allow for flexibility in a system. So I picture like a sort of mesh, and it starts out as like a sheet. There's like just a sheet of steel, and you bang on it, and it's like it's not flexible. But as you implement these patterns, there are areas in it where it will give way in certain directions, and sometimes it'll go down and then make a left, or it'll go forward. It's like almost like it becomes like fabric in some areas, you know. But it depends on what type of pattern you put in there. That'll determine the type of flexibility that the sheet has. I don't know how else to describe it. I say sheet because like I don't know. It's almost it could kind of be like a field too. If you're talking about once you talk about threading, you know what I mean? It's like a field rather. But I don't know how it's very difficult to describe. I just think of it as having flex points though. That's the big thing. It's flex points. Points in the system where things are allowed to change within some constraint. What do you mean within some constraint? I mean, you still have to abide by the signature of whatever the interface method is, but now you can provide whatever implementation you want, and nobody can bitch at you anymore because you can put whatever you want in that interface, and anybody that disagrees with it can override it and come up with their own implementation, just like you did when you came up with your concrete class. Your concrete class might not have had a concrete implementation written in it because it was just inherited from the default method in the interface, but nonetheless, you still had to, have your implementation somewhere, and they can do the same thing. They can go ahead and implement the interface with their own personal concrete class, and then override it if that's the way that they want to live. And that's the big problem with a lot of the systems that you'll deal with once you get on the job is people have built systems without these flex points. So now when you want to go in and change something, or you have to change something, it's not that it's impossible, it's just that you're working with steel. You're not working with a piece of fabric. And you have to
Yeah,
make
no
sure that it
flexibility.
bends a very specific way, which requires a lot of
Yeah,
manual, rigorous effort, a lot of testing too. This testing is
mhm.
crazy because like you remember your casino projects, right? When you guys probably didn't enforce TDD throughout the project, and then like when you had to go test it, it was like, bro, how do we even test this stuff with the console in it?
Yeah, yeah. The code becomes so interrelated that,
Exactly.
yeah, they're so attached to one another. One thing changes, then the whole code is basically just so
Exactly.
connected. You don't really have that space to add your own methods and stuff.
Yep.
Yeah.
But yeah, the interfaces gets rid of opinion basically. It provides a default opinion, sure, but it eliminates opinion that's not moving, a immutable opinion. I'm gonna look at some examples of things where. Dean, are you there?
Yep. I'm
Okay.
just taking care of something real quick.
Okay, no problem. Yeah, this needs to be modified. I'll do that now. Sure. I'll do it live. We'll do an example of what it is we're talking
Leon,
about right now. Yeah,
I'm sorry, I gotta step out real quick. Do you
no
mind
problem.
recording this?
It's
Watching
recorded.
come back?
This is on Twitch. We're going right now.
All right, thanks so much, Leon.
Yeah, no problem.
In a bit.
All right.
Bye bye.
Dean, are you? Let me know when you're back, when you're ready again.
Yep, yep.
You ready?
I'm handling some moderation real quick. Give me 1 second.
Okay, no problem.
God damn it. The fuck?
No problem.
There we go. You see, god damn it. It's still fucking up. Hard mute. There we go.
Oh man. Oh jeez, man. Maybe they forgot. I mean, that must be it, man. They must have forgot.
Okay, okay. Just dealing with some fucking dumb shit kids.
You ready?
Yeah, okay. What are we doing?
Just, I just found this project where it doesn't abide by the principle I just talked about. So I was gonna go through converting it so we have an artifact of us doing what we're actually practicing, what we're preaching. Does any of what I just said make sense? We were talking about first. Let's talk about what we were talking about. What we were talking about was this pinned message, how to do Java. We were talking about number 2. All method implementation should be in the interface. You can see here, method implementation is not in an interface. This is in a concrete class. This is an enum. An enum is a concrete class. It should be in the interface. Are you with me?
Yeah.
Okay. So we're going to do that. The easiest way to do it, honestly, is to just copy everything like this. I'm just going to copy like that.
Yeah, and then remove all the overrides.
Yeah. Gonna go here. I'm gonna. Can I paste all this? I think so. Yeah. Yeah. I think so. Let me come back. Let me see. Oh, database name, database connection, database. Those things I need to leave because those things are state. So these ones down here. Does that make sense? What I just did? Those ones were state. These are state ones. So I didn't paste over top of them because that's something for the abstract class to handle.
Hold on, let me see. Okay, so these are...
Undo. This is what it was. And I pasted the methods from here there like that. But I did
Okay.
not paste here because these are for state. How do we know
Okay.
that they're for state? Because they're prefixed with the keyword get.
Can you go down just a little bit? I'm just getting a feel for all the methods that we're
Yeah.
putting in here. Okay. We have another one down here for state too.
This one is not. This is not. It's not actually state. I don't think. Let me
Oh,
see.
okay.
Is it? It's not state. This one. It's deriving a value. It's
Okay.
actually. It might be better to say create scrollable statement. Yeah, it is actually better to say create scroll. Because look, create statement.
Oh, okay. Yep.
I'll come back to that. The first order of business to me is to get rid of this. I want to find all of this, and I want to replace it with the keyword
Replace with nothing.
default.
Or okay.
But I need to keep the spacing, so I'm going to copy that, put that there, replace all. Undo,
Forgot the space,
space,
after.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, that was,
Oh, we got
hold
one.
on.
Oh, because you had it selected, or
Yeah, hold on. Like this, copy. I don't know, my IntelliJ's been acting weird ever since this new update. You got to Control A, highlight everything, then do a replace all, and then it affects everything. Whack. Anyway, the next thing that I want to get rid of is this error associated with the name. Name is a method that comes from an enum, but for us as an interface, we might just want to say get name, and then leave that as something that's part of the state for the concrete class as, you know, get name, which returns name.
okay.
Because name is an enum method, right? Name is an enum method coming from the enum class. So we don't have the ability to say name here like that because that comes from the enum. So we cannot say name because that comes from the enum. Does that make sense why we can't whoops? Does that make sense why we can't say name?
Yeah.
Okay. So we solve this by saying name, replace
Yeah,
yourself.
you're you're using for the enum, it's like implicitly
It's
implemented,
inherited.
right? Yeah. So since you can't do that in the interface, you're using like a getter in that concrete class to expose it, and then you're just referencing the getter in the interface, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yep. Whoops. Whoops. Control A, replace all. And now it's not working because this says get name, but it should say get name. So now that's happy, right? Any questions about anything right now?
Give me 1 second. So, are you just wait until you get everything fleshed out before you actually implement the interface, or?
Um,
It's like
Wait, say it
looking at
again?
your, I'm looking at like your. Oh, we're still on the interface. I was like, okay. Where's the class that we're going to be implementing this at?
why? Why do you care
What's
about
that?
that?
I just want to see the signature and stuff like that. Okay, public enum.
You don't need to see shit
Okay.
else.
Office date.
You asking? You're not asking. I don't like those questions. Sorry, hold on. Um, yeah, yeah, like I don't like those questions because I don't. Why do you want to see the like? You're not asking a question. Like, why do you want to see it? Is my question. What would that do for you to
I
see
was
it?
just drawing it like I'm comparing like the thing I'm working on to what you're working on, and when I moved all the implementations over, like am I still sharing? You look at mine real quick.
Yeah. Uh huh. Let me see.
Okay. So we are on. We want to be on what account? Base account. Yeah, that's right. But we're not implementing anything there. And then, oh yeah, so like account service, for example. So account service removed all the implementations from here. And then account service should be account manager. Oh, okay. I have a create account. Yeah, okay. So I'll have to put the full implementation here. All right. Let me go to something I have actually done. Okay, so I have account. I got my state. My transaction manager actually has the implementations. Base. So account base needs to implement the transaction manager. Okay. I'm trying to like absorb all the stuff that we were just talking about not too long ago. So like before when I would be working with interfaces and I would, do implements or whatever, it would be like, okay, you have to have like, it would say basically you have to do the implementations and it would, generate all the stubs if you click like the fixed shit when you hover over it. Um okay. Instruction. Now, how exactly am I? I'm trying to think of how to word this. Okay, so I have my method implementations here in an interface. I'm implementing the interface in this parent abstract class. I'm extending the
Hey, give me
parent
1 second. 1 second.
abstract.
Do
Yeah.
you mind if I lead walking through this?
Yeah. Oh, look here it is right here. So it's saying I have to implement the methods from the transaction manager.
Are you asking me right now?
Um, yeah. So this is kind of like what we were trying to get away from, right? So we put our implementation of these methods directly in the transaction manager interface. This account class extends the account base class, which implements the transaction manager. So why is it ask or saying that I need to declare this abstract or implement abstract? I mean, because I feel like this is what we were just trying to get away from. Am I wrong?
Yeah, what's in your account base?
Okay, so account base.
I just feel like honestly, like
I just have this page set up and I have a
I just
constructor.
feel like I'm very familiar with this flow for this pattern. So I really would wish that you could just hang with me for a second while I just go through the pattern, because it's only going to take me 4 or 5 minutes to get through the pattern. But I think it might take you a little bit longer to get through the pattern as your first time without seeing any
Yeah,
demonstration or having any reference. Which is why I said,
yeah.
do you mind
Well,
if you
the
let me
problem with the
lead through?
demonstration is
Yeah.
like sometimes I'm getting like lost, and I kind of need to slog through it to really hammer it down,
Okay, but
because then I
still,
can like
but
digest each
still,
step.
still, like if it's gonna take you 10 minutes to get through it, right? Shouldn't we go through
Yeah,
the fast route so that I can show you, and then you could go through your 10 minutes after that?
yeah.
Look, check it out, because it's not. I promise you, it's not gonna take a long time. I just reset the entire project. So you ready?
Okay. All right. Yep. So this is the concrete,
Concrete
the
class.
enum. Yeah,
We
and
don't care about an
we've got all
enum.
the.
This is the concrete class.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. List off
So we've got
substitution
all the methods
principle.
here.
Occam's razor. So we got methods here. These are getters, right?
Yeah.
So those are state related. So to damn who cares about that? These can't go in the interface. I need to hear an affirmation to continue to move forward.
Yeah. I agree with that.
Okay, cool. These, however, they have meat and potato in them. All these. So I'll cut them. I'll cut them out. I need to hear affirmation to know that everything's cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So we're gonna go to the interface and put them
Yep.
in there.
I'm gonna go to the interface. I'm gonna paste it over top of these methods. There, paste.
Yep.
I'm gonna
Then we're
find and
gonna remove
replace.
the overrides
Yep, all this
with default.
space, default space. Replace all, auto format,
Or why are we using default in this case?
because this is an interface. Interface is the only place where the keyword default is valid.
Okay.
There's no
And it's
that
not
the
like
keyword
implicit.
default was the keyword. No, the keyword default has never existed prior to Java 8. There was no
Okay.
there was no keyword default. The ability to and this is why, thi- historically, okay, this is the history for why everybody thinks wrong about how interfaces should be treated, because it wasn't until Java 8 that they allowed you to write method implementation in the interfaces. Now I have a sneaking suspicion that the reason that they did that uh, is because of the exact pattern that I'm talking about. Method implementation is supposed to go in the interface. All right, let me not get too deep into other stuff. So now we did define and replace on the keyword default on the public overrides, right? We got this issue with the name, because name is a method that isn't. We don't have that here in an interface. We
Right.
have
That's baked into the enum
right baked into the enum.
library.
Right. So what we can do is we can say that we have a method that has string get name like that, and this one here overrides that get name such that it returns name.
Yeah. So we'll be referencing name.
Yep. So we'll be referencing name, and now everywhere that we see name like this, we can replace that with get name like that. Space name space. Okay. Everything look
Mhm.
good. Everything look good. This guy here,
Yeah.
default. That's cool. Rename him. We talked about this. Should say create instead of get. Whatever. That's fine. Browser
Mhm.
set. Whatever. And the last thing to do is handle this console. How do we handle it?
What's the issue it's giving you when you hover over it? Cannot resolve it. Okay. And this is the console class that you made yourself to deal with output. So I guess just import it. What do we got? Okay, there's your IO console. Okay, so public consoles, you're instantiating a new IO console.
This doesn't even make a difference, but yeah.
So you added that to the constructor.
No, I would just re-expressed it because maybe this would like jog something for you.
Uh,
Console is part of state. Are you with me?
yeah.
Okay, so that completes the abstraction. Get console.
Get
Boom.
console. Yeah.
This guy just needs to say get console returns this dot console. Okay. Now, so that was literally like 3 minutes. Now, let's see you follow the same pattern.
Yeah, hold on. Go back. I just want to.
Yeah, for sure. Getters.
What was I about to say? Undo the last thing you did on this class. We're gonna redo it. I just want to.
What do you so this part, the get console, or from the
okay,
from the
so-
interface where we had this piece here.
No, we're on the concrete.
Uh-huh.
Okay, yeah, and then go up to the signature and hover over. I just want to see the error real quick.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, implement methods and click that.
Mhm.
Okay, and then want everything, and we just wanted the get console, not everything else, right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
We already have implementation
So-
for everything else.
Oh, so why is it suggesting everything else again if it's already there?
I don't
Just
don't think it
OJ
is.
not being that smart. Oh,
I
okay.
don't think it is. Look, I think if I go like this, drop
Mhm.
semicolon, come back, implement, it highlights both of them.
Oh, okay. It's okay. It lists everything, but it only highlights what it's suggesting that you bring in. Okay, I thought it was like
It only highlights
suggesting that
it only
everything.
highlights the things that are required to be defined. Not suggested, the things that are required.
Gotcha.
These down here are the suggestions. These are not the suggestions. These are the requirements. These are the suggestions.
Mhm.
Go back, undo, default, come back, and implement get console, return this dot console. Okay. Now let's go to you. Let's see.
Okay. So let me see. We got account base. We're implementing the transaction manager. Transaction manager. I have a deposit and I have withdrawal. All right. So
My bad. I got distracted. Yeah. What is this about? So this says first there's I feel like the way that you went about your steps, your flow was a little bit fucked. I don't.
okay.
You know what I mean? Like I feel like it might be easier for you to start over.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Okay.
I'm not sure, but it's just like I think there were some things that were deleted. I don't know if they're still on your clipboard. I don't know if you pasted them. You know what I mean?
Well, I copied this directly from the concrete.
Yeah, but here's the thing. It's telling me account is the account base class is now missing the set account balance method along with the get account balance method.
Right, because remember initially I had all my implementations in the class itself.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but these are state related things, and account base is an abstract class which should have state related things.
Yeah. So like this is all my state related stuff, right?
So then what's the issue?
Let me see. So account name, password, and balance. Give me a second. Let's look at that. And then what was the account service?
Weren't there things that you deleted from here as well?
Yeah, this is kind of like where I was decoupling things. I was trying to have like, before I had everything in account, which didn't really make sense, like having the account creation and deletion. So I tried to separate that into its own thing.
Where, no offense, I'm not really asking your flow of thoughts. I was just asking, didn't you delete things from this class as well?
Let's see. Yeah.
Were those pasted somewhere?
Um, what do you mean paste it somewhere?
Well,
Did
remember,
I paste this somewhere?
I'm not sure where we are in the flow of things right now. That's what I'm saying. Like, did you? Because I know for sure that there were changes in account service, right? Like you definitely demonstrated that you cut those things out. But then if we go to account base and you control Z there, there's also changes there that you cut out and didn't paste there as well. See?
I thought I moved all this directly into the transaction manager.
No.
Or wait, hold on.
But see, that's what I'm saying. That's why I said I think your flow is a little
Okay.
fucked right now. You might, I don't know. If you can recover, recover. I am not positive about where things went right now.
Okay. Yeah, there should be where we were. This is our starting point. Let me close this out so it's okay. We should be at where I started from now.
Okay, cool. All
Okay.
right, good. All right, good.
So I have account base. This is where I've got all my implementations. These need to get moved. Let me see what methods I have.
Why do they need to
Get
get
the-
moved? Why are you
because
why are
said
you
the
starting there?
implementations-
Because the
Because this
implementation,
is a concrete class. These are the method implementations, right?
are they actual method implementations?
Or no, these are just like
Getters, accessors, accessors and
Yeah.
mutators. They're just references to fields, just coupled to state. That's all they're there for, to couple us to state. Naming convention also was
this
something I
is
wanted to
a
critique as well. I think it's very
naming
important to
convention.
stay, yeah, very important to stay super, super consistent. So it's abstract account, account interface, and either account, yeah, account.
So you're saying that I should have abstract in the name of my abstract classes?
Absolutely, it's an abstract account. Why?
Okay.
Because like what pattern would you follow in a larger system when you have to name something that is abstract?
Well, that's where I'm getting like these different naming conventions across different languages because like in Java you don't name an interface. You
You
don't
do.
prefix it with an I.
You do. You name it interface. That's why I said account interface.
Okay. It's a thing where I'm getting like different information from different sources. Like as a matter of fact, what was it? There's like a noun. Let me see. interface naming.
I guess if you're talking about like agent nouns, yeah, the able and er/or suffixes, that is true. An agent noun is a way to denote that something has agency over a particular verb. That's true. Um, However, right, if if we're talking about these types of patterns, see the thing about those agent nouns is that they're usually talking about like a single method a lot of the times because it's like a manager
Yeah,
that
the
manages.
agent nouns were for single methods. The
Exactly.
verbs were for when you have like multiple things. It's
I
like
would
rejogging
say
my memory.
I would say no. I would say it's still they're both, whether it's an agent noun or it's a verb. Firstly, agent nouns are all nouns that denote agency over a verb. So I don't even know what that means. Firstly, secondly,
Yeah, well, like you can see right here, I was trying to get clarification. So I was like trying to make sure I understand. So if an object implements an interface that makes the object readable, then the interface could be named readable. Like that's the verb. Um, if I had an interface responsible, hold on, because this is kind of high up. I'd use a noun if the interface has multiple behaviors, but I'd use a verb like readable if it only has one behavior. And this is like backwards from what you were just saying, because you were saying like if it has one behavior or a method, you would use the noun, correct?
scroll up. I'm
Sorry,
saying
I
no,
was kind of random.
no. You're right. You're right. No, no. I still maintain that that agent nouns seem to suggest only one particular behavior. When you say account manager, I understand to manage something is very vague, but to me, account manager suggests that it has a manage method. That it's that simple. It's the whatever the verb is, that's the verb that we're talking about. To me, it's a manage method that maybe takes an argument of an account. That's how I see it. Not to say that that's the only thing it could be. It could definitely have more methods. I'm just saying, inherently, reading the name of it suggests only a single method. I'm getting too far from the point, though. Go back to our project. Let's see our
Yeah,
project.
stick a pin in that though. Like make a note because like I feel like this is kind of like some of the core stuff that it's hard to get the correct information on. And if you're trying to build a good foundation, like even naming conventions and knowing why you're using a certain naming convention are important. And you see the kind of like fucking rabbit holes I go down, and then it's like one of those over analysis paralysis things because I'm like, well, what's fucking right? I don't want to move if I'm doing shit wrong because then I'm building on a wrong foundation.
Okay, let's go back to your project.
Yeah.
Where are we in the flow of things?
Okay. Let's handle our naming stuff real quick. So this is an abstract account. We're not
I
going to call
agree.
it account based.
No, I don't like account base at all.
Okay. So we're gonna refactor rename. Was that Shift F6?
Yeah.
Okay. Abstract account. Okay.
Yes. Okay.
Okay. So that's good. Account is good. Now on to the. How do we want to name this?
Transaction
'Cause you said
manager
abstract.
has got to get a new name. That has got to get a new name. That one's fucking crazy to me. No
Yeah.
offense.
This almost does one thing. It's like two things.
Let's go to transaction manager.
Yeah.
This is an abstract account, no? I mean, an account interface.
Transaction manager. This isn't. So the only transactions we have are depositing and withdrawing.
Is this an account
And-
interface?
Yeah. So do we just name it account interface or?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
I was reading the methods to reconfirm.
Where is I'm hitting? Oh, there it is. Okay.
Oh, this shit's
account.
crazy though. Go ahead. Yeah, yeah. Okay. Oh,
Okay.
okay. But it's not actually an account interface. The reason I said that is because I thought I saw that your base account was extending. Okay, now it's getting me. I, okay, we have.
Account extends abstract account.
Where is your project? It's on GitHub, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Is it the most recently active repository?
It's gonna be one of the most.
What is it called?
Casino.
Is it?
Casino project. Second one down.
Okay. Okay, so here's where now this is why I wanted to, another reason why I wanted to start out here, because I couldn't figure out where we were in the flow of things, and now I can see your flow is pretty messed up right now, man. You're in a pretty messed up state. I tried to convince you several times that we should go back, but now I'm just gonna prove to you that you're in a very messed up state, and we should have just gone after what I said to do. Okay. Look, this right here, line 18. What's that say?
Hold on, let me pull you up. Okay.
Here's a count. Line 18. What's that say?
Public void deposit.
Okay,
void amount.
now what does your deposit method say? Wherever you have it written, wherever it is in your application, tell me, what does it say?
Hold on, you were on what? The
No, deposit
account
method.
class, okay.
Wherever it says deposit in your application, wherever it says it, what does it say on that
Yeah.
first line? Does it take an argument of the same thing?
float amount, abstract account.
Is the method implementation even the same?
I'm pulling them side by side.
Yeah, word. It's just rhetorical questions, really.
Yeah. So deposit, that's looking amount. No.
So we gotta start over, because you need to get back into the original state and don't focus too much on too many things. Just copy, paste, and then move the flow exactly through the steps and the pattern that we saw before. You know what I mean? Just go through the pattern. Don't think about what things are doing. Just go through the pattern.
Okay. Let me here, I'm just gonna trash this. And
Yeah.
I'll pull because
Uh,
I
it-
uncommitted changes is what was wrong because I started trying to clean shit up.
Here, do this. Do a git reset -hard.
Yeah, reset head.
Yeah. Head,
Yeah.
tilde. I usually do like tilde5, and then I'll do a git pull, just in case, because like that detached head state is real. But if I go back 5, like
Wait, is it it's get
Tilde.
reset hyphen hard
yeah,
head?
you got it. You
or-
got it. Everything you wrote is perfect. Head
Yeah.
tilde, and then the number of commits you want to go backwards. I usually like go back like a lot, not a lot, but like 5 commits, and then I'll pull to go forward. I don't know how many commits you have here, so that's completely on you.
I think I just want to go back to the previous, like before my uncommitted changes. So isn't it just hard head without the number of commits?
Yeah, I would just do head tilde like 4 at least, and then I would just do a git pull. So do it again.
I'm gonna try this because on here it's showing my commit message.
Okay.
It's showing what I recently
Word.
did.
Word.
Fuck, no, it's saying it's already up to date.
All right, perfect. We're good to go.
Do I need to rebase or?
That's why I kept saying if you go back 4, you don't have to worry about the detached head state or rebasing or anything. But I don't know
Okay.
definitively if you're in a perfect state. But
All right, let me try. I'm gonna go back 1, I guess, because I haven't made a whole lot. Heads now, blah blah blah.
and then press up 2 times. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's probably okay. It's probably exactly where it's supposed to be.
All right, let me go ahead and I'm gonna refactor these real quick.
Okay.
Just do a Shift F6. We're gonna name this abstract account.
I like it. And
We're
chat
gonna
didn't tell you
rename-
that you're supposed to just name it abstract such and such, or such and such interface?
No.
That's weird. The agent noun thing is true, but it's like only when you have domain over something specific. And I know you're like, well, what about the case of a manager? Well, in the case of a manager, bro, that's not an interface.
Well, like, look, I'm gonna sidetrack for just a minute.
Yeah.
So, look, I'm a bit confused about standard naming conventions for interfaces in Java. It tells me what to avoid because this is like a C# or a .NET environment.
Yeah, I don't.
naming
That's
convention.
stupid.
Time
We're
manager.
we're Java developers, man. We write everything out. We don't do acronyms. We don't do anything like that. That's why we say interface. That's why we say abstract. Like, so I is
Yeah,
silly.
like, well, you saw me asking in the chat about like, oh, how should I name things?
Yeah, no, I'm
And
not
I was
getting on
talking
you.
about-
I'm like getting on
Yeah.
chat right now for not explaining this to you. Like, this is me expressing frustration towards chat for not being sufficient.
Yeah, and then like it's saying, use descriptive names. That's Java, right there. But these aren't very good names.
No, but those names are as descriptive as they can be because runnable only has the ability to run. Serializable doesn't even have a method,
Yeah.
and clonable can only clone.
Or rather, okay, I guess it would be better for me to say that it's not that they're not good names, but the description was like lacking because it
Okay.
didn't mention like how many methods or the contents of these.
Very true, very true. And you can see where it says a poor name is helper. Scroll up a little bit. Poor name is
Yeah.
helper or utility. But please tell me how helper or utility is any better than manager. How? How is that
Yeah.
better than manager or handler? Or how is it
Right,
any
and
worse?
then even here, like abstract names, it's not suggesting abstract or anything like that.
Nah, that's silly, man. That's silly.
Avoid concrete sounding names, like all this. Yeah, and you can see why like I'm so confused, and I'm like looking for further clarification, and it's like
Yo, Nez, could you mute yourself? In an ideal
Yeah.
world, an interface is an agent noun. Why? The reason I say an ideal world is because I'm thinking about exceptions. Sorry. An ideal world is because that's our I in solid interface segregation principle, which basically states that we want to make our interfaces have as few methods as possible, because then we can aggregate them back together to make a more concrete interface or a more robust interface, which can then be inherited by a concrete class. It just makes it more flexible. So in an ideal world, we do want them to be agent nouns because then they can just do their one method that they have domain over, whatever that they have agency over, I should say. But oftentimes you're just building out something and you'll have something like an account service or an account manager. But an account service and an account manager, those are very concrete things to me. Their method implementation would go in something like an account service interface. Their state would go in something like an account service or an abstract account service or an abstract account manager. Or an account manager interface would have the method implementation for the account manager. You get what I'm saying? Like, to me, manager isn't really... I don't really think that's an interface level type shit. If your name is ending in manager, you're already like... You're pretty concrete, bro. At that point, it's like you need a manager interface. I might sound crazy. I know a lot of people, they disagree with me. I know they do. But I don't know what you want me to tell you. Like,
Manager interface is crazy.
manager interface is crazy?
Heck yeah, because why? It sounds like super redundant. Overly redundant.
Hey, say what you want. That's my opinion for real. I strongly agree with it. Because what do you think the manager should be in an abstract class or an interface?
No. I'm just saying in terms of like naming, like when you guys are talking about, because that manager over there is an interface, right?
Yeah, look, his manager is an interface. Doesn't that seem like something that would be more like a concrete class, or is that or am I
Yeah.
tripping?
No, yeah, for sure. It sounds like
Okay.
I'm ready to test the object.
Right. So now if I got two different ways that I need to manage accounts, account manager one, account manager two, then what do they abide by? Account manager interface, no?
Yeah, I get where you go. I get. Well, why? But is this just like hypothetical speaking, or is this like some actual implementation that Dean's considering? Two different type of
Both.
account managers.
Both, yeah.
Well, yeah, because like, okay, so just a quick rundown. So I have an abstract account. I have an account that extends the abstract account, and it's representative of an account. And then to separate things, I have an account uh, service, which is going to be responsible for creating and deleting accounts because it didn't make sense to have that as part of account. Um, and then, as such, I have two separate interfaces. I have the transaction manager, which handles the account based things like deposit, withdrawal, get balance. And then I have the account manager interface, which is coupled to the account service. And this provides the methods for creating accounts and closing accounts.
Here's where I am,
More.
Nez. I just don't fuck with method implementation if it's written at the concrete level. I don't fuck with it. It creates problems. Like, I don't know how else to express the fact that it just creates problems, bro. You put your
What's
method
the
implementation in the concrete level. Now I'm stuck with it at that concrete level forever.
yeah? What's the opposite of defer?
To be eager to execute. The
Because
opposite of lazy is eager. The opposite of defer would be to execute. Yeah, to invoke.
would it be to implement? Could we say implement is the opposite of defer?
Oh, that type of deference.
Because that's what an interface does. It just defers it, right? So now I don't
No,
have.
no. Everyone keeps saying that. That's what Dean just. We had a whole conversation about that. He said, "Well, ChatGPT says that." Da, da, da. And I'm like, bro, like, that's wrong. Interfaces are there so that you put your method implementation in it. They wouldn't have made a whole change to the language in Java 8 where they introduced the keyword default, where they allow that to happen and take place, if that wasn't the case. Now we have three different places to write our code when we're creating these systems. The interface is where we put our method implementation. We put all of our state stuff in the abstract class, so the getters and the setters, the construction, the constructor, the fields, and then at the concrete level, you parameterize it with whatever needs to be parameterized. If it's generified at the abstract or interface level, or if you just need to provide it with the concrete value for like a string or something upon construction. Like those are all valid use cases for concrete. But if you're just gonna go straight into the concrete class and then like, oh, let me start trying to abstract here. Okay, now I've got an abstract class. Bro, the abstract class is as dangerous as the damn concrete class. The only real hope to make sure that your application maintains flexibility is if you put all of your method implementation inside of the interface. That way, if somebody tomorrow comes along and says, hey, Nez, you's a bitch for the way you wrote this code, you say, hey, you's an idiot for saying I'm a bitch, because all you have to do is come up with your own implementation and provide your implementation where I was giving the interface in the first place. Now no one can complain, ever, for the perpetuity of the system's existence. There won't even be a need for a rewrite.
I get that. I guess this is the way I learned interfaces. You know, I learned it through you, though, right?
What year was that?
Uh,
Serious question.
2019.
Man, I gotta go look through my code, son. What's he talking about? He's talking crazy. He's talking crazy to me right now.
It was, if I remember correctly, it was like an interface could force a certain type of, I don't want to say behavior, but let's just go with that. It could force a certain type of usage, right? Like interfaces make concrete classes have certain actions
Boy, you better hope I don't pull up something else in here that says otherwise. Because this stuff says updated 6 years ago.
Yeah, that's 2019. Hey, you're welcome.
Bro, I
Hey,
was
you that guy.
on it. I was on it. I was on it, bro. I was on it. I was on it. I was on it. This is lecture to you. This is literally an artifact of the lecture to you.
I understand default lets you, but when you have a default method, you cannot change the implementation. That's its default for a reason.
What? No, that's not how that works at all.
You can still override it, right?
The whole reason that they call it default is because it's just the default implementation.
You can't override a default method.
Yes, you can. The keyword final is used to prevent a method from being overridden, but you cannot use the keyword final in an interface. You can use it on a method signature, of course. For example, I could say here final. However, you cannot use this on an interface because that defeats the entire purpose of an interface.
Well, isn't. Well, okay. You. Whoa. Hold on. Final. I thought final was for like classes and instance variables. And I didn't think you. I thought the equivalent of a final method is a default method in an interface.
Nope. Methods cannot be final in an interface.
All right. So I can annotate a default method in some other class that inherits it,
Yep.
override, and Java won't complain.
Wait, say that again. You can annotate a default method. Yeah, you sound like If I like go right here, I could go right here, and I could be like, override that drop method that we saw right there. This one.
But that's not a default method.
What do you mean it's not a default method? I just overrode it.
Where it show? Oh, there. Sorry, I missed it. I was like, yeah, I didn't see it right there. Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's in the interface, and then I override it here in the concrete. But if I
So
don't
do you-
override it, then it's just I just inherit that one.
Right. Okay. All right. So I can provide my input. It's been a minute.
Python. That boy smoking that Python hard.
Hard, bro. It's bad.
He on that PHP. Say nah.
Not for real, man. For real.
He on that PYP.
That's nasty.
You get it?
Yeah, it's
I guess it'd be better if I say he on that PIP.
no, because then that's pit. I got you. Pipe.
I know.
Got you.
Yeah, like pipe. PYP was funny because it's like pipe, but then PIP is funny because it's like it's an actual command. But
Okay. So wait, Dean, show me the where you have the two different was it managers?
yeah, we were talking about
yeah.
naming. We were talking about naming here.
Yeah.
So and I was saying for me, method implementation should not go on concrete classes if you're working in Java. If it's Java 8 and up, which is pretty much all of Java now in 2025, you shouldn't be putting method implementation in your concrete class because it creates a point of inflexibility in the application. If somebody else has a differing opinion about the way that method should behave, now they have to go in and modify your concrete method. And you can't go back to your previous concrete method. It doesn't work like that. Now you got to modify that motherfucker, and now that's the new one. But if you would have made it an interface and programmed against the interface, and then just gave it a concrete implementation where it had the default method, somebody else could come in and be like, I don't like that default method, and then they could come up with their own concrete implementation, override it like we just saw, and they could insert it there, and they would never be able to complain to you and be like, yo, Nez is a piece of shit programmer because the way he programmed it prevents me from having da, and now we got to go into the system. Nah, I didn't do none of that. That had nothing to do with me. That's not the way I wrote it.
So you're saying a concrete class should not have any method that does not have a override annotation?
Ideally, Yes, I agree with that statement. In an ideal world, yes. Yep. I'm gonna show you something real quick. Here's what, to me, can you see my screen?
Hold on one second.
Because this is the example that I give, that I should give when I talk about parameterizing your your abstractions with concrete values in the concrete class. This is what I should be showing. And I should abstract this too. I'm about to abstract this. But let me know whenever you're ready.
Yeah, I'm looking.
Okay, so this is already deviating from my point because this should be in an interface, right? I should have that in an interface. But let's pretend that's in, huh?
I'm with you.
Okay, yeah. Let's pretend that's in the interface. I pulled this up in the interface. Now I just have getters and setters here for this and this guy. And then at the concrete level, it just looks like this. You can see the concretes are just responsible for parameterizing the generic values or passing concrete values upon construction. In this case, it's doing both. It's parameterizing the generic values here for its parent class, and it's also passing in concrete values here upon construction. So this is actually a really good example. And this is for the daily time series. There's also one for the weekly time series that does the same thing, following the same pattern, right? Weekly, 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 and then again for monthly, and then again for intraday and for daily. But without making those abstractions, I mean, I guess clearly you could see even without making those abstractions, it's still possible. But it kind of deviates from my point.
It's clean. It's clean. It's clean.
Okay,
I like
okay,
it.
okay. Thanks. Good, because I didn't feel like. Okay, good. Yeah.
I hate Python so much, bro.
Then
but
quit.
it's
Say no. I'm just playing. I know it doesn't work like that. Hold on. 'Cause I got to get back to Dean real quick because Dean, we were working on something. Are you ready, Dean? Because I want to make sure we finish this. Okay. Okay, you have abstract account, you have account manager, and then your abstract account extends account manager or implements account manager?
Yeah, correct.
That's incorrect though, right? I think. Let me see.
Well,
That's the
Yeah.
way you first taught me. I gotta say that.
No, it's not. I got all our lectures here too. I can pull up that shit too. But I'm not going to. But I
think based on what you said, I should, like, my
No. It's
my
not.
account manager should have implementation for creating an account and closing an account.
Yes. But the account itself is not an account manager, is the whole thing. And that's the only thing I was going to say, Nez. Maybe you're right. Maybe I did say something about extending and implement, because that is correct, implementing the abstract class. I agree with that. It's just I can't agree that an account manager is an account, because that defeats.
No, I agree with you. I agree with you there as well. No, the account manager manages an account. It is not. You can't be the thing that you manage.
Yes.
That violates SRP. No.
Yes. I'm sorry, and I meant to say transaction manager, Dean, because I think the abstract account implements transaction manager. Is that correct? Abstract account.
Oh, hold on. Say that again. The abstract implements the transaction manager.
I think that's the way that you have it written. So if you look at the abstract account, we'll see it implements transaction manager, but that doesn't seem right. How could the account be capable of doing transactions? The account would have things like username, password, balance, but it wouldn't be able to manipulate those things also, like deposit. Would it? Wait, am I tripping?
Well, this is where the English doesn't hold up so well anymore, and then you have to make a decision now.
Hold on, let me see transaction manager. What's inside there again? And then what's inside your abstract account? You might be right, Nez. Scroll down. So where's your deposit method?
This is before, like, this is an old commit. That's why I was trying to go off what I had with my uncommitted
Does anything
stuff, because
extend abstract account?
Yeah, account should.
Okay, so this is where the deposit and withdrawal method are. Okay, all right. You know what? I ain't gonna lie, Dean. I'm not mad at this implementation. It's okay. Line 10 is
Yeah,
really
but I
crazy, and
think
we'll talk about it more later. What do you think?
I think after everything we've talked about, um, I should have an interface for accounts that handles getting balance, depositing, and withdrawing. I should have another interface that handles account creation and account closure. And I don't think account creation and closure belong uh, being coupled to the account itself.
Yeah, yeah, good point. Good point. All good points. All agreeable things. I just want to say, uh,
Because, like,
copy line 14. I would say down to about line 28, I believe, and I would start moving that into the what's called the
interface.
transaction manager. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Yep. And that's what we were working on before. So in here, I have stubs. We're replacing these.
Not those
I still
though.
need to,
Be
I need to
careful.
get balance.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Because that one's state related, not actually doing other shit. Yeah.
Yeah.
And you also need to set account balance because you can see line 14 and line 22 cannot do their job without that.
Yeah. Um,
So let's put on line 11 where it says public default. Let's put on line 19 default. Let's hover over where it says set account balance in red. It'll suggest that we create this method. Let's create this method.
and transaction manager. Okay. Yep. And I'm
Move it
gonna
up
move
on
this up here. Yeah.
yeah.
Let me ask a pragmatic question. Um, there's a transaction manager. Is there a transaction, or is
Great question. The great question, which is why we actually were starting out with the discussion about the naming, because at this point, I think it might be best to name it account interface. It's implemented by exactly one class currently, which is the abstract account. So to me, this is the account interface. Now let's
Yeah.
go.
I'm not mad at that. Like I said before, my main thing was like
What's the convention?
I'm getting, yeah, and
Yeah.
I'm getting divergent information from different sources. So
Yo, people can't really be argumentative when you're more explicit, right? Like they can
Yeah.
be argumentative when you're redundant, but if you're more explicit, they can't really be upset with you. Go to your abstract account. Does your abstract account have a definition for get account balance and for uh go back, what was the method? Control tab, what was it? Get account balance and
let me see. What are we looking for?
I don't think I can see on your screen. It's still there. It goes. Get account balance and get balance and set account balance. Do you have one for get balance and abstract account?
An abstract account? I don't think so.
Honestly,
Nope.
easiest thing to do is just highlight
Or
everything from line
I
8
have it
all the way
stubbed.
down to line 37 and delete everything and just let it regenerate.
Yeah. Okay. And then we're just doing what the
Constructor.
structure again.
What I do is on line 3 where it says abstract, I delete abstract.
Okay.
I take the suggestion,
Declared abstract.
implement methods. Okay. And then I put the word abstract back.
Okay.
I also prefer the keyword abstract being the first word on the signature.
Before the access modifier.
That is correct. That's my preference.
Okay.
I just feel like it draws more attention to the fact that this class is abstract.
Or you kind of can't miss it.
Yeah. And now just fulfill those method implementations.
Why do we? Okay, so let me
Because
go back.
these are state related, Nez. So the only methods that we should have inside of our abstract class are related to state. Those are getters, setters, the fields, and the constructor. Those are all state related things. That's the only thing that you should see inside of an abstract class.
Yeah, that was one to ask because, like 2019, Leon Theory said we don't even like abstract classes.
We don't though. They're really a scary thing to use. That's why the only reason I use them is for coupling to state. Because they're a scary thing to use. You can only extend from them one time. But Dean, it begs the question, why is it that none of your fields are being used? Line 4 through 6. Well, that's because line 17 doesn't have any method implementation. Line 22 doesn't have any implementation. And we didn't use anything from line 5. So we should probably figure out some things to do with that. Let's just, on line 17, let's write where it says 0. Let's say AB. And then hit enter. Oh. And then on line 22, let's say this dot AB equals V.
Are we not verbose with the?
Wait, equals V.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't like that. Nez is about to call me out on it, call us out on it.
No, just line 17. But go ahead.
Oh, line 17. Oh no. That's because I agree. I agree. The only reason I'm just trying to finish up right now, Nez. But there was a naming inconsistency with the interface and the fields. But I don't feel like, you know what I mean. It's fine. Okay, on line 21, we want to say something like New Balance. Not the sneaker, though.
Shift F6V for New Balance.
Yeah.
Wait, what's up now?
Shift F6 on V and float V and the parameter and the what's the other word for that?
You got it. The parameter. You true.
Yeah. Shift F. Oh, god damn it.
Yeah, no, that was right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, and we're doing what now?
New Balance.
New Balance.
New Balance. You're setting the account balance to a new balance when you invoke this method.
Okay.
All right, that's it for me. That should do the thing that we were talking about. You now have a account class which is concrete. It contains, I think, nothing. Let me see. What's your account class have? Yeah, it shouldn't have anything. So get rid of lines 9 and 10. Great. It just provides concretion. Literally just provides concretion. Your abstract class provides construction and coupling to state. And your interface provides coupling to behaviors. If anybody disagrees with the way that you do your methods, they can come up with their own implementation for the interface. If somebody disagrees with the way, I don't know, somebody wants to come up with some other form of construction for your account, and people just have mad ways to flex on this. It's flexibility. That's all it is. It's a bunch of flexibility everywhere. That's what I'm talking about. I hit the wrong horn. That fucking horn. I hate this horns. They make it look like this golden trumpet, so it's really like enticing for me.
Cricket John.
No, the sad horn. This one.
Yeah.
They make it look like this cool ass trumpet. I always think it's this one.
Hilarious.
Yo, have you tried Java's AI suite? It's equivalent to like PyTorch and TensorFlow.
Really? I haven't.
I want to try it. I want to get back to Java, man. I'm so sick of Python, bro.
Before I lose you, so you were saying this is kind of a shitty name, like account manager. And how do we feel about account service?
Account service is fine. It just sounds like it's a concrete class. That's the thing. That's the only thing about it.
What about service interface?
I mean, that sounds like it's an interface to me.
Yeah. Okay, so